Kristi's going to go home to a shit show. This is not like I kind of thought, okay, if the drinking is the problem in my marriage, I'll get sober and things will be fine.
Welcome to the Crazy Ex-Wives Club, a podcast dedicated to helping women navigate the emotional journey that is divorce. I'm your host, Erica, and if you're trying to figure out life after the big D, welcome to the club. Whether you're contemplating divorce or dealing with the aftermath or any of the many phases in between, the club has got you covered. Each week, you'll hear stories from women who have been in your shoes. This isn't about spilling tea on divorce details. This is about giving you the tools to take control of your own healing journey. Listen in weekly for advice, tips, and tools to help you move through each stage of the process. Welcome back, you guys. It's Erica from the Crazy Ex-Wives Club. Yesterday, we had the first half of our episode with Mocktail Mommy, Kristi Tanner, and today you get to find out how did she rewire that next chapter of her life. So let's jump right back into our two-part conversation.
I looked up rehabs and I went to rehab and we hired a full-time nanny and she moved into my home and she became my kid's parent. And my husband continued working. I moved away for 2 months. It wasn't like, do I want to go? It was this is the only option for me. And it became so apparent that I just needed to learn how to take care of myself again, because when you cannot take care of yourself, you cannot take care of the people that you love, and you cannot show up the way that you want to impact the world that you're meant to. You just can't do it when you're pouring from an empty cup. So I went to rehab. It was the hardest work I've ever done. I learned so much. I changed so much. My ex-husband came out for a handful of sessions. We looked at it, right? Like I got to look at my life and I had people supporting me with in every aspect. It was like, here's your bedtime. This is your nutrition plan. You have no sugar, no caffeine. This is your exercise plan, your therapy, your spirituality, your meditation schedule, your walks, your follow-up plan, your community service, but I got to become recovery. Like I got to live recovery. I got to be Kristi without being a mom, without being a wife, without being the caretaker, without being just carrying a mental load. I didn't have one in rehab.
Because the healing is so much work, the recovery is a full-time job in itself. The worry, the mind, the anxiety, it's exhausting to do that heavy lifting.
Yeah. And I needed that much time. I'd been a really good drinker for a long time. I'd been avoiding for a long time. And then it's like, oh no, wait. Okay. So now that I'm sober, okay. The fog is lifting, Erica. And I'm like, uh-oh, Kristi's going to go home to a shit show. This is not like I kind of thought, okay, if the drinking is the problem in my marriage, I'll get sober and things will be fine. Literally, this is what I thought. And that's not how it went. It was like I got sober and I was able to see clearly.
Yeah.
And then I felt differently than I had previously. And I didn't see the same path that I had before. And I didn't see myself being able to maintain healing and recovery in the space that I was in. So when I moved home, I was home for 2 weeks and then I moved out. And I lived in an apartment and we did nesting. We kept our nanny on. It was very awkward for me to sort of like reintegrate into my family. It's like, where is my spot? Who is in charge of the kids? I'm here He's here, she's here. There's 3 adults and 4 kids. Like, we're all here at dinner time. I'm not really supposed to be alone with them because nobody trusts me, and I don't know if I trust me, and like, can we trust me? Um, it was so much work. And when I made that commitment to myself to like what I really need to do is like have my own space to continue healing. Um, I would say like anyone in a separation or divorce or a questionable marriage, like the most important thing you can do is get quiet and trust your gut.
Yeah.
Mine was never wrong. It was not wrong. I felt that same feeling 4 years prior. And I couldn't at that point sit with it. I was not brave enough to uncover the truth of what was going on. And when you get sober, you have to, but it's not you have to, you get to.
Yeah.
You get to be transparent, authentic, have integrity all the time, live one life. I have no secrets. My motto is keep no secrets, carry no shame. And I don't. I have no shame about my past. I'm so proud of the work that I've done and the mom that I am now, the person that I am now, the life that I have now. And it's all because I was willing to face the thing I didn't want to face.
I think those moments of big transformation give you the pass card to rewrite whatever you want to rewrite. Because exactly what you said is how I felt about getting divorced.
Mhm.
I had already done the thing that was so terrible to do. The marriage already failed. We were already calling it quits. We tried, it didn't work. But in that process of figuring out who I was and what I wanted, I had that same awareness that all of a sudden I was like, wait a second, who I was back then and what I wanted back then and the fear that controlled me back then doesn't control me anymore. And so now I get to be who I want to be on the
Oh,
terms I want to be. And sometimes that means you can grow with your partner, and sometimes it means you can't. But you have completely transformed into a whole new being that's really like broken free of all the chains that the world likes to put on us.
absolutely. Like I had my first mocktail event last night. And I wore bright, sparkly cowboy boots because sparkle is my favorite color. And it was a Monday and it was raining. And you know who cared? Nobody. Everyone loved it.
Yeah.
But this is like the freedom that I have now because I was brave enough to like be out on my own, look at my stuff, and then not just look at it, not just be aware of it, take action, take responsibility, make a plan, reach out, get community, get help, get coaching. Let people help you. Find your people. They are out there. You are not the only one going through your thing. I thought I was alone for the longest time. There are so many people waiting to support you and to say, oh my gosh, that's my story too.
And if you find that when you start sharing with people and these people are judging you and these people are laughing, they're not your people.
Oh, no.
They're not. There's enough people who do truly understand. We're sitting here, we've been there in your shoes and we get it. And we know how much it sucks and how much it hurts and how alienating it feels. And so we want to create that community. There are people in your life that want to be there for you and support you through these big, hard places because that's the cool part. When you're brave enough to get through it, everything changes. Everything changes for the better.
It's so good. I wonder if I have anything in here. My Mocktail Mommy logo is like this face with butterfly wings because it's like you see the world after you've done your work in Technicolor.
Mm-hmm.
All it's like
100%.
you've been living this sort of grayish life. It's all sort of blurring together. The days are all sort of the same-ish.
Yeah, they're just kind of like met or they're like Mine were always irritating. They were frustrating. They were annoying. Everything was hard. Wasn't it just easy? And then all of a sudden it became, oh, I can choose something different. I don't have to stay in this ish anymore. And I can choose to see all this stuff different. And I think it takes though doing the deep healing work because now I can show up with grace. I can show up with understanding. I don't need to show up anymore and dictate that you need to respect me and it needs to happen a certain way. You don't have to. And I
No,
still respect me and I'm still
right.
okay with how
Oh,
I choose to show up.
I think maybe that's what I gained out of, divorce and sobriety is like I respect myself now. And I did not before. And I
Mhm.
really do now. Um, and I think, it's just the bravery to show up to your life and find out what you're meant to do. It's going to be so much bigger than you ever planned, so much more exciting than you ever could have thought about. The people that you're going to meet are going to be so meant for you, and it's going to feel aligned and right. It's not going to feel hard. It's not going to feel challenging. It's going to feel exciting again.
Yeah.
You're also going to be able to breathe again.
And it won't happen instantly.
Oh yeah,
So
I'll
just so you guys are out there listening, like it wasn't all of a sudden we made a decision and then we were like, ah, like the heavens opened up and we found all our
do.
people. There were painful nights and lonely nights. And we're talking like months and years that I sat in the in between and I just kept asking, why did this have to happen? Why is this still so hard? Why can't I move forward? But I was willing to keep showing up for the assignment. I was
Yep.
willing to say, okay, what am I supposed to learn in this? What am I really looking for? If I'm so sad right now, my thing used to be that Friday nights would roll around, my child-free night, and I had created a story that everybody else had tons of friends. Everybody else was out. Even the fact it went down to everybody else was asking other people to hang out, and my phone
Yes.
was silent, and nobody
Yep.
was asking me to hang out. And that hurt. And I'd created all these stories. And so then I would sit in it and I'd be like, okay, well, what's the lesson? First round, can I reach out? Why don't I reach out? Why am I waiting for somebody else to start the conversation? So I learned how to start the conversation. And then it became, okay, you started the conversation, you went out and socialized. Did you like who you hung out with? Or do you just feel really tired afterwards? And because I'd come home, I'd be like, I still want to go out. And I'd find somebody to go out with, and we'd go out. And then I'd come home and I'd be even more sad and depressed and alone feeling.
Accurate.
Yeah, and so then I was like, okay, lesson. That wasn't the lesson. Now what's
Right.
the lesson? Oh, can I find something that I love doing that just feels good for me? And that actually became one of the first rituals, which is ironic because this episode is about mocktails. But my first ritual was during the holiday season, and I'd play Hallmark movies, and I would have my little chocolate martini with a Ghirardelli chocolate mint
Yep.
square on it, and that was it. And it just was this one because it's kind of like dessert.
Yep.
But that evening, I still have snowflake Christmas lights hang in my window year round so that I can just turn on little light twinkles in the back when I'm watching movies. But I all of a sudden, I loved it. I looked forward to my Friday night alone of just me and a movie, sometimes taking a salt bath. I showed up for that lesson too, that all of a sudden I liked how I spent my time without anybody else. And that led me to being able to then choose who do I want to spend my time with, and how does it feel to be out, and what do I even want to do? Because I'd go out and be like, dang it, I wish I'd just watched a movie tonight. Like, you just, I kept showing up for the assignment. And so
Yes.
every time it didn't go the way that I thought I needed it to go, I just asked, what am I supposed to learn from this? All right, let me try something different because I can keep showing up the same way and the same stuff is going to keep hurting and happening to me, or I can try something new.
It's like we try to avoid this alone time by what do we want? We want connection, but it's like, who are we choosing to connect with? Anyone? We're not looking for connection with anyone. And you can't truly authentically connect with someone else before you're first truly authentically connected with yourself. I think for a long time, I was just like kind of out there, like running around being like, do I fit in your group? Am I in this
Hmm.
Should I be this kind of person? And when you get, okay, I hate being alone. Used to hate being alone. Hated it. Hated it. I hated a quiet house. I hated having a free night. I hated everything. I hated everything. Um, and now, I regularly have 5 days with no kids. And if more than two of them are not totally free, I don't feel okay. I crave my alone time
Yeah.
like I used to crave alcohol.
Hey there, it's Erica, your guide at the Crazy Ex-Wives Club. I want to take a moment to express how much your feedback means to us. Your ratings, your reviews, they are like fuel for our journey together. They not only brighten our day, but they help other women find the support and the guidance they need. Leaving a rating and review is super easy, and it makes a world of difference. If you're listening on Spotify, simply scroll down to the bottom of the podcast page and then tap on rate. If you're tuning in on iTunes, head over to the podcast page, scroll down, and click on write a review. It only takes a minute, but it could help someone else find this podcast and change their life. Your voice matters, your feedback helps us grow, so take a moment to share your thoughts and experiences. Together, we can help spread the word to support even more women. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Let's continue to support each other and make a difference, one review at a time.
I crave connecting deeply with myself and why I'm here and what I want to do today. So much more than anything else because I was willing to sit through oh my God, I don't even like looking at myself. I don't even like being with myself. I can't be alone. The house is quiet. I don't know what to do. All the kids' toys are here. There's laundry everywhere. It makes me sad. What should I do? I should run away, and it's like we just kept running and avoiding. And then when you stop, you practice being alone until you learn to love being alone. You go to AA meetings until you want to go to the meetings. And then you don't need the meetings because you're free. But you go until you get there. You can't stop before the miracle. It's like, don't try meditating for 3 days and decide it's not for you.
No, at
It's
least 30, you guys, at least 30. 30
yes,
every single day. So it has to be every day and 30 days for it to finally all of a sudden something clicks and it
yes,
is like crazy pants amazing. And
yes.
I fall off my meditating wagon, you guys, all the time. But I know that when I hit 30 days, all of a sudden, like the ideas are popping and I feel so inspired and energized. And then I'm like, why did I stop? I felt great. Why did I stop? Because life.
That's my yoga, right? Like meditation. Like I yoga because it's my brain's like mental bath time.
It's your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest. You've got to
Yeah.
slow it down to allow yourself to float again. I know for
Yeah.
me, as a kid, I always felt lonely too. And so when I got divorced, the loneliness was a really big lesson and a big deal. And now I look back and I reflect on it and it's, you're lonely because you're waiting for somebody else to acknowledge that you matter, to truly see you, right? You're always looking for that person who picks you, who says they love every aspect about you, who sees how much you matter and the difference that you make. And it's almost like you're looking for that person to be like, I'm so happy you're alive.
Yes.
You are the one that has to come to that conclusion.
That's right.
You have to decide that, you know what? I don't care who else thinks it or doesn't think it. I'm happy that I'm alive. I love the life that I've built, whether or not I share it with anybody else. And that is a super freeing, amazing lesson that comes with these sorts of transitions.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think about when I was first getting sober and divorced, I literally thought, well, I'm new in this town. They know that I got 2 DUIs. I went away to rehab. I have 4 kids under 5, and I'm pretty positive I don't have any friends. And I had this huge reputation of like an unsafe person because I was. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to show my face again. So I didn't have anyone to like hold me accountable. I didn't feel like I did. I had burned a lot of bridges with the people in my real life. And I was like, what am I going to do to hold myself accountable? So I started an Instagram account called Mocktail Mommy at 90 Days Sober. And I was like, hello, world. My name is Kristi Tanner. And if you see me drinking alcohol, make sure you call 911 because that is illegal and I am not allowed to have any. Do you got it? Perfect. Thank you for helping me. And these people were kind of like, wait, what? Is this girl? Did she just say that she's an alcoholic to the internet? And it's like, people didn't do that.
No, but even the stories you've told today are things that a lot of people would wanna hide. And it's
Sure.
so freeing to for you to share the Halloween story and for
Yeah,
you to share the 2 DUIs in one weekend, and you have gone through a lot of big stuff in regards to alcohol, but it brought you here to be able to let other people know that you're not alone. So if you've had these same experiences, you've already walked that path. You get what it feels like, and by not hiding it, means that we all get to understand that it's like, "Oh, you know what? I'm not a terrible person because this happened to me." Who you were back then being, controlled by the desire to drink is a completely different person than you are now that you've broken free.
absolutely. Yeah, I don't feel the same about myself. I don't see myself the same. I don't have a lot of the same friends. I have a lot my life is completely different because for a long time I was trying to fit in some sort of box,
Yeah.
society's box for me, or my I thought my parents wanted me to be, or what I thought my husband wanted me to be, or my neighbors wanted me to be, or the PTA wanted me to be. It was like I was this amazing chameleon and I could walk in anywhere and be whatever they wanted me to be, but who I couldn't ever be was myself.
Mm.
And that was an exhausting way to live. And when I got sober, I said, no more. I cannot pretend. I can't pretend for you. I can't pretend about anything. You'll never wonder what I'm thinking. It's written on a post it note on my head. You'll know if I'm sad. You'll know if I'm mad. I'll tell you what I'm thinking because I don't know how to. Secrets make me sick. They make me sick. And I'm sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, and I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And if my truth hurts you, if it's too big for you and it's too much for you, um, you can go somewhere else because I'm not going to dim my light or not share my truth because it's
Mhm.
uncomfortable. I think some of the people and places I respect the most are where we can have these difficult conversations because once you have them, we're more connected, more intimate, and we're on the same path. We have awareness, we have connection, we have understanding. What doesn't work is avoiding, is not having these conversations about the real hard stuff,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like your life is gonna change drastically when you do something like get divorced or get sober or what other big life thing you're gonna do. It's going to change and you get to create a brand new you, a brand new routine, a brand new home, a brand new I didn't used to wear sparkles on Tuesday mornings, okay? Because I thought that wasn't allowed. But, like, I'm done asking for permission for what I'm allowed to do. I trust myself, my sober self, to make really good choices, and I do, and I have, but it's because I've shown up every day for the same assignment that I don't get to drink alcohol. I get to live sober and I get to share the joy of sober living with anyone who's curious about it. That's what I get to do with my life. And I'm so stoked that I get to be Mocktail Mommy. Like, that's the funnest name. Like, I thought I was the champagne queen. F that. Anyone can be the champagne queen. There's only one Mocktail Mommy. Okay.
It is just big transitions create big opportunities. And it
Yes.
does mean you're going to go through big changes, big hurts, big whatever.
Yes.
As long as your actions are not intentionally trying to hurt somebody else, you sticking up for who you are and what you want, if it hurts them, that's okay.
Right.
That's their baggage to carry.
Right.
So own your side of the road. Keep your side of the road clean. Do the work that needs to happen to keep it up. And the people that show up or don't show up, that's their job. That's their work to do because I can guarantee you you will find people, new people in your life.
You have to let the other people fall away. And it was like when that was happening, I was like, oh, no, 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 come back.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose connections.
I didn't want to be any more alone. I was
Yes.
like, good Lord, I already lost my guaranteed Friday night date. I got to
Totally.
start that over again.
Yep.
Now I'm watching, and even now, you guys, even now, it still happens because we move into new phases. So I can think about after the divorce, I had one mommy friend who we got together and we did our social drinking, White Claws or whatever else, and we bitched about our husbands
Yep.
and complained about how they didn't do what we wanted them to do to help us be better moms because look at all the stuff we were carrying. And we were in walking distance to each other. So I'd put a kid in a stroller and I'd get my steps
Amazing.
in and over I'd go. And when complaining about other people no longer became tolerable in my life,
Oh,
it became really hard to hang out with her because I'd show up and she just would do the same complaining for hours. And
mm,
so as I started to pull away, that complaining turned on me, right? Oh, I thought we were, real friends. I didn't know you were just a fake friend. I didn't know you were going to desert me too. And all this stuff came up. And I had to acknowledge it in my own world, like I would text her that was never my intent. I'd moved. We weren't neighbors anymore. She moved. All these things happened. But the core of it was is like I'm not going to sit there and live in this unhappy space. And I had to let her fall away and she had a speaker piece on the way out, and that was okay.
absolutely.
For those of you guys who are listening, who have hung out with us for our 2 episodes, thank you, Kristi, for sharing so much about the transformation journey. And there's so many parallels between the sobriety journey and the divorce journey, but the message is the same that when you make a big transformation, a big leap in your life, all of the social structures that you've created are probably going to change. And
They
when
are.
those pieces, those walls that you've built up that hold your life in the same pattern that it's in, when those walls start to come down, that's when you're truly free to create what you want to create from it. To be able to play around, I invite you to just play around and see how do you feel if you don't drink for one weekend. I was really worried that I wasn't going to have any fun that weekend. I actually was worried and I talked to my partner and I was like, what if this means we don't connect because
Hmm.
so often of our connecting has been drinking and I'm not going to drink with you. Are you now going to wish that you had a partner who was out drinking with you? And we moved through that. He's like, I don't care what you do. And I showed up and still had fun drinking tea or drinking water. Figuring out who you are, finding the love in the aloneness that
Yes.
guess what? When you only have to answer to yourself, you can do whatever the hell you want. You
So
want to
good.
like, it's so amazing. You can make whatever you want for dinner. You can go get a coffee at the coffee shop if you want. You could lay around and do absolutely nothing all day. You're the
Best.
only one that has to choose. So
Yes.
there is always a silver lining. These things that society has taught us are the markers of a good life.
Mhm.
Having a marriage, having a big house, having kids, having dinner parties, having mommy, wine nights, you can rewrite all those. There's nothing that says that that's the only way to live a really good, fulfilling, happy life. So,
Right. Like success, you define your own success. success to me, 10 years ago looked like everything you listed off. I thought that's what I wanted. Erica, I got it all. I got the husband. We had the house. We had the kids. Our Christmas cards were epic. They were perfect. It's like, oh my God, look at that cute family. It was not what I wanted at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, oh my God, if I just let go of all of that, what do I want to do? And it's like, what do I want to do? I want to wake up and be excited about what I'm going to do today. I want to be creative again. I want to laugh. I want to move my body in ways that make me feel free. I want to feel the sun on my skin. I want to have sand between my toes. I want to see places I've never been. I want to meet people that I've never met. I want to learn their stories. I
Right.
want to make an impact that is so much bigger than me. And I could have never done that when I was stuck drinking. I was only worried about me. I was only worried about my house. I was only worried about managing my stuff because it seemed so overwhelming, my stuff. And it was because I never let myself leave it. I never let myself see it and then leave it. Say, I don't have to do that forever. You know what's not working? Looking at OFW, the court ordered app, and waiting for a response, and then seeing that he's written me and then trying to decide if I should open it or not. Like this anxiety that I lived in of like drama and like, I don't have to live like that.
Nope.
No, I don't. I will check that app every day because that's what I get to do as a co-parent, and that's what I get to do. So I get to change my mind about how that makes me feel, and that is my work. And for 2 years, I tried to make it his work. I'm like, could you please show up differently for me?
Mm-hmm.
I know we're divorced, but I need you to do this differently for me.
Yeah.
No, I needed to look at it differently. And now that I have freedom. I have freedom. I check it every day. And there we go. It's part of my day. It's just a thing that I do. It's part of being divorced. It
When you,
doesn't have to take over my whole everything.
yes, when you learn that you get to choose, you get to choose. That's the beauty. You get to choose how you decide to react to something, how you decide to feel about something, how you decide to see something. And when you choose to see it as a thing that you get to do, at a thing that's working out for you, a thing that enables you to move into what you really want, that's where the magic is. So we hope you guys have found so many little nuggets and inspirations over these last 2 episodes. Give sobriety or a dry month or a whatever a chance. Just see how it feels in your body. Take a look at where you're reacting. How do you want to feel in those moments? And start to really look at what's the work that you can do to change how you choose to show up. Not how you're changing your partner, your ex, your whoever, but how do you want to change how you show up? Because when you choose to change, that's when the rest of the world can change with you. So thank you guys for tuning in with us. Until next week, give yourself grace and enjoy your week. And that's it. Another great episode of the Crazy Ex-Wives Club, a podcast for women learning how to heal from their divorce. Tune in next week for more advice and tips to help you figure out life after divorce. And until then, give yourself grace, do the best you can, and know that this is all part of the process.